Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Mikhail Bennett, and today my speech will be the Oklahoma Bombing Memorial Prayer Service by President Clinton. Thank you very much, Governor Keating and Mrs. Keating, Reverend Graham, to the families of those who have been lost and wounded, to the people of Oklahoma City who have endured so much, and the people of this wonderful state, to all of you who are here as our fellow Americans. I'm honored to be here today to represent the American people, but I have to tell you that Hillary and I also come as parents, as husband and wife, as people who are your neighbors for some of the best years of our lives. Today, our nation joins with you in grief. We mourn with you. We share your hope against the hope that some may still survive. We thank all those who have worked so heroically to save lives and to solve this crime. Those here in Oklahoma and those who are all across this great land, and many who have left their own homes to come here and work hand in hand with you. We pledge to do all that we can to heal you, the injured, to rebuild the city, and to bring justice of those who did the evil. This terrible sin took the lives of our American family, innocent children in that building, only because their parents were trying to be good parents as well as good workers. Citizens in the building were going about their daily business, and many there who served the rest of us, who worked to help the elderly and the disabled, who worked to support our farmers and our veterans, who worked to enforce our laws and to protect us. Let us say clearly, they served us well, and we are grateful. But for so many of you, they were neighbors and friends. You saw them at church or the PTA meetings and the civic clubs, at the ballpark. You know them all in ways that the rest of America could not. And all of the members of the families here present who have suffered loss, through we share your grief. Your pain is unimaginable, and we know that. We cannot undo it. That is God's work. Our words seem small besides the loss that you have endured, but I have found a few I wanted to share today. I've received a lot of letters in these last terrible days. One stood out because it came from a young widow and a mother of 3 whose own husband was murdered with over 200 other Americans when Pan Am 103 was shot down. Here's what the woman said I should say to you today. The anger you feel is valid, but you must not allow yourselves to be consumed by it. The hurt you feel must not be allowed to turn into hate, but instead into a search for the justice. The loss you feel not paralyze your own lives. Instead, you must try to pay tribute to your loved ones by continuing to do all things they left undone, thus ensuring they will not die in vain. Wise words from one who knows. We have lost too much, but we have not lost everything, and you have certainly not lost America, for we will stand with you for as many tomorrows as it takes. If ever we needed evidence of that, I could only recall the words of Governor and Miss Keating. If anybody thinks that America are most likely mean and selfish, they ought to come to Oklahoma. If anybody thinks Americans have lost the capacity for love and caring and courage, they ought to come to Oklahoma. To all my fellow Americans beyond this hall, I say one thing. We owe those who have sacrificed in this duty to purge ourselves of the dark forces which gave rise to this evil. They are forces that threaten our common peace, our freedom, and our way of life. Let us teach our children that the God comfort is also the God of righteousness. Those who tribute their own house will inherit the wind. Justice will prevail. Let us let our own children know that we will stand against the forces of fear. When there is talk of hatred, let us stand up and talk against it. When there is talk of violence, let us stand up and talk against it. In the face of death, let us honor life. As St. Paul admonished us, let us not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Yesterday, Hillary and I had the privilege of speaking with some children of federal employees, children like those who were lost here. And one little girl said something we will never forget. She said we should all plant a tree in the memory of the children. So this morning, before we got on the plane to come here at the White House, we planted the tree in honor of the children of Oklahoma. It was a dogwood with its wonderful spring flowers and its deep enduring roots. It embodies the lesson of Psalms that the life of a good person is like a tree whose lives do not wither. My fellow Americans, a tree takes a long time to grow, and wounds take a long time to heal. But we must begin. Those who are lost now belong to God. Someday we will be with them. But until that happens, their legacy must be our lives. Thank you all, and God bless.